Aloha, this is Eyre, and I'm answering questions that have come in from my website and email and social media. So thank you for those questions. One of the questions was, what would you like to do more for the environment, and where do you see we have room for improvement? So the county doesn't have ultimate control over what's happening on the environment, but we do have some really important things that we can change that will help the environment. One of them is better planning. So that includes like how things are zoned and how we treat especially our low-lying and our shore properties. I've always wished that somehow we could go back in time and have an enormous buffer on those beaches so that nothing is built up close, because that helps with that storm runoff, especially like chemicals and all of those running into the ocean. Protecting our reefs is a huge part of mitigating climate change, because they are so important to keep storm surges and rising seawater from affecting us negatively. But even though we didn't do that in the past, that doesn't mean we can't do that now. We need to protect our shorefront areas and make sure that we have that buffer, that we're planting native grasses, and that we're protecting our wetlands, which are a huge part of protection against rising sea levels. So we need to do better as a county with that. Some of the other things that have been brought up is people wonder about composting, like what can we do on an island to help compost and take care of more of our organic waste. Eco does a nice job with the green waste down at the dump, so you can always take your green waste down there. There are also a couple of companies that are starting personal composting, and so they'll drop a bucket by your house, you put your compost in there, they come pick it up. These are the small things that aren't going to change the world's environmental outlook, but they are going to change our local outlook. Another thing that would be really great is if we get our utilities under control. And one of those is water. We do not have great water delivery here. For those of you that are still on the water meter waiting list 20 or 30 years down the line, it's a struggle. But it's also just when we look at an increasing number of natural disasters, we need to make sure our water delivery is ecologically sound and economical for those of us who live here and rely on it. So that's something that the county can look at. We can also look at a better disbursement of our fresh water to small farmers and medium-sized farmers, and not just sending all of our irrigation water to the big corporate farms. And that's something that environmentally will help us, because as we diversify agriculture, we become just more resilient environmentally. And then another concern of mine is just what do we do with plastics here? I am a big anti-plastic person, because it negatively affects our marine environment so much. And yes, attacking single-use plastics won't change the world's environment, but here we need to be very cautious with that. We need to do it in a way that is economical for our small businesses, but is also looking forward to what the environment will look like with all those plastics. We also probably as a county need to look at better plastic recycling that happens on island. And there's some exciting technology that's coming out that allows small municipalities to recycle their own plastics. So I've been looking at those on just a community by community basis, and we probably need to look at that as a county. But if you have ideas for the environment, if you know of things that you think the county could do better, there's lots of small things everywhere, lots of pukas that need to be taken care of. But if you have ideas, please send me an email or visit my website, asiaeyre.com. I'd love to hear from you. Give me a phone call. Thanks.